Yeah, so we're back now. So dealing with that, the debilitating shyness, how did you start to overcome that?
Oh man, when I started to hang with gang members, I was one of those kids who held my mom's thigh and watched the world go by because I was so shy and I hardly ever spoke.
Okay.
And then when I started to hang with people from the neighborhood, the shyness started to chip away. But in certain situations, I would still be shy about stuff. And then when I came to prison, I was super quiet. Matter of fact, there's a guy on this yard. I remember in Old Folsom, he told me we were there. This was like '87. He said, "Are you ever going to say something?" I was that quiet.
Right,
And I think I found my voice through gang activity in a way, but
Okay.
mostly through programming, self-help programming. That's where I found my voice.
Okay.
So moving forward now, to the present you, what I'm saying, what do you think that we can do as a collective, to bring education, to the forefront? What do you think that we have to change the face of success and, for the youth to be able to emulate, moving forward?
Yeah, I think education for us in here starts. It doesn't start when you go to education. It doesn't start when you go to college. It starts in the cell.
Okay.
So it starts with you in the cell
Right.
because that's how it started for me and everybody I know who has taken that course of education. It started with them in the cell. Even if you're not on the list, you want to study for your GED, study in the cell, and then you go to class and then you end up getting your GED. That's just how it happens, step-by-step process. And as far as the young seeing us as an example, I kind of feel like it's 50% on us to hold ourselves accountable because we know these young guys are looking.
Right.
And it's 50% on them to recognize what they see as a good thing and traverse that course as well.
Okay.
If they don't, there's like negligence. If I don't conduct myself in a way that they can embrace, then I'm negligent. If they don't embrace what they see as a good thing, then they're being negligent. So there's just a lot of negligence going on right now in the system with the young, right? It's like before we wanted them to be a certain way,
Right.
but now we want them to be the way we are now, transform.
Right.
But the thing about the young is that they want to live their own experiences. So I can't say, hey man, look at me, I got all these college degrees, I just graduated San Diego State, this and that. He wants to live his own experience.
Right.
You can't tell a person the water's hot not to touch it. They're going to touch it, just like I touched it.
Right.
So that's just how that goes.
Right. And then I want to commend you on those degrees, because I was watching your TV the other day,
Yeah.
And they were talking about how you had 5 degrees and then you went ahead and grew a little further. What was the next degree you had that you went out there for?
Interdisciplinary degree from San Diego State in 3 departments. Yeah,
Okay.
Communications, journalism, media studies, and art and graphic design.
Right. And even when I saw you speaking, how you talk about the books from back in the day, how you read it, when I was hearing you speak, I thought of those books I was reading. And I was like, listen to them.
Yeah.
And then I was just so proud that the families who came to support you guys was able to get a part of that. On top of celebrating the fact that you guys graduated from college, they was able to hear you express yourself in a manner that when they leave here, it can create a conversation and say, hey, that was dope, but this was dope also.
I tell you what, man, I was at work the other day, sitting in Plant Ops, and a young Keyway dude passed by, tattoos all on his face. I've never spoken to this guy a day in my life.
Right.
He saw me sitting there, and I overheard him point. I saw him point at me,
Right.
and I overheard him tell the guy he was walking with, "Hey, I heard that guy's speech yesterday." And then he walked over there, and he told me, he said, "Because of your speech, I want to get in college."
That's dope. That's dope.
That is dope right there.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And I like that because I always tell people, I think I went wrong in life because my parents and the people around me that was doing the right things, it seemed like it wasn't celebrated.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Say 50% is on us who's older. I agree with that because my mom would come home and complain about work. She would complain about the education she had, but then she would push me to go to work or push me to go to school. Then I would hear the teachers complain. So nobody who was doing the right thing made me feel like it was the right thing because they was complaining. So why would I go through what you went through and you still complaining? And I can look outside, and even though you saying they're doing nothing, it was fun.
Yeah.
They're making something happen with it. So I do understand that, and I wish I was told that, and now this is why I create the podcast, and I'm trying to get people in here to expose that 50%. Like, we're doing our part. We're going to give you 50% of what we have for you, so you can point these people, you know what I'm saying, when it comes. So when you take that 50%, when you think about that 50%, how does that 50% translate to now you say your wife and now you say the things that you develop? Is it still the 50% because you're dealing with the outside world, or does that percentage change dealing with society rather than dealing with inside these walls?
No, it doesn't change. It doesn't change at all because this is my immediate environment right here, right? So I kind of I look at it like this. This is our country right here.
Okay.
So we have to deal with the things right here before we can even do anything out there.
Okay.
But I know that if you have the ability to have somebody out there do the things that my wife is doing now,
right,
as far as like the nonprofit she runs,
okay,
being an Essie sister, all this sort of stuff that impacts us in here.
Right.
If you have the means to get that done, by all means get it done.
Okay.
But as far as me trying to do things out there from in here,
right, the
way that she does, I know that's improbable. That might not happen. But I know that I have to deal with this environment here before I can do that out there.
Okay.
So I think the 50% stays the same.
Do you think that you having a wife and her being with you helps you stay steadfast to who you was?
For sure, man. For sure. Our wives are like they're the cornerstone of what we do.
Okay.
Right? They're the cornerstone. She inspires me.
Okay.
Yesterday she came up here and had lunch with one of my San Diego State professors.
Okay. Then
she drove over to do AVP right here in San Diego with Sharing Sue, the AVP coordinator.
Okay.
And then she drove home. Then this morning she drove to Big Bear to go to another nonprofit meeting.
Right.
So these are the things that she does that I'm heavily involved in, and she's heavily involved in, and we feed off one another like that.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. And I think that's very important. That's how my wife. Like right now, I'm about to be 8 years clean, and it's been the whole time I've been with my wife. I haven't got in trouble.
Yeah, that's good.
Like it woke me up, and I was like, man, you were just a horrible person. You were just doing all this stuff. What happened? I'm like, I met a woman. Like, you met plenty of women before. Like, I don't know, it was just different.
Yeah.
The way she resonated with me, the way she made me feel protected, the way she made me feel safe, the way I didn't have to wonder what was going on, and she allowed me to develop into the person I am now, which I like.
Exactly.
And without her being there, I don't know if I would have been able to do that.
Yeah.
Because I still, no matter how bad the gang life was, there was a dependability. I could depend on the person coming in and not caring about nothing.
Yeah.
And then I can go over there and force my views, which is the older views on him, to say, you have to care about me. Give me a suit. Give me some deodorant. You got to ride with me. I can force that because this is what already been around already.
Exactly.
But if you let go of that kind of blanket to catch me if I fall, now I'm by myself. And I have to depend on my societal expertise and my touching into my humanity to even make her want to stay around.
Exactly. Wives do it all for us.
Right.
They're the one.
Yeah.
They're the one. It was my wife. I always say that in order to change her life, there's a piece of humanity within all of us.
Right.
We may have been killers in here. We may have put in a bunch of work in here, but there was always that little piece of humanity inside of us that was just a seed, or it was just suppressed because we lived the gang life.
Right.
And as you know, to live the gang life, you have to take all your values and put them to the side and be a gang member. Right? But that little seed that's always there, something happens and that shell sprouts and you start changing. That's that little piece of humanity. And now you're doing things like Mr. Ford right here, giving out sandwiches to everybody without charging people. Right. And that's that little seed of humanity that I speak about. When I speak about these things, is that humanity, it grows and next thing you know, you start to feel human again.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing. And for me, it started with my wife. So I can understand that.
And I definitely can appreciate it because before we even got to interacting and I got to know anything, I came to the building. We decided to do something for the black. Let's get together. Let's eat together. Let's celebrate with each other. But one thing I remember after doing that is you came around to the people that put it together and you gave us ice cream. You didn't say nothing about it. It wasn't expected. Yeah. And I was like, what is this? He like, just encouraging and nourishing the good behavior.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't nourish good behavior. Yeah. So that made me feel good in myself to say, hey, man, that's a person that sees me. Yeah. Regardless of the people, because sometimes we take the negative from situations because these people don't have the mannerisms or what we expect back. But then people like you make up for it. Yeah. So all the people that didn't say thank you, that went on with their life, I don't have to worry about that because you stuck me with something that I can say, I remember this.
Yeah, you got two different kind of people in prison. You got relationship builders and relationship destroyers.
Right.
That's how I see it, and I always try to build relationships, no matter how small a gesture might be.
Right.
If I can do it, I do it because I understand how important it is to building relationships.
Right.
So we had what you said. I appreciate you because I built a relationship with you over the course of time.
Yeah.
I used to always be by the bars. We never really spoke, but then as we got to know each other, I seen that you were the type of individual that I can follow, mimic. You know what I'm saying? Because nowadays the older heads are not what they used to be or what they supposed to be. And I kind of see why the youth, you know what I'm saying, don't want to follow, after the older people right now that we have in here. I appreciate you for, from AVP and all the other things, and you also have been generous to me. Things that pop up to my door, I'm like, who that's from? That's from Mr. Gray. I'll tell him you're looking out. But it wasn't, it was just the relationship and the bond that we had built. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's me acknowledging the good that you do. Here it is, this man's passing out sandwiches, and I just feel like when you do something like that, that motivates me to say, here you go.
Right.
I might not be able to afford it, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know how important it is for you just as well to see that what you're doing is important. These guys might just see a sandwich on the door and just eat the sandwich and think nothing of it. But for me, those little things are important gestures.
Right. And those kind of things right there, do you see even moving outside of here and dealing with your wife? She's one of the people that you could tell us about. We can look and we can be proud of what she's doing. Do you see her work also inspiring people out there to make her movement bigger than what it is?
For sure, man. She just had a dinner with all the nonprofit leaders at her house in Yorba Linda with 30-something people at this dinner with caterers. She spent a few $1,000s on this, man.
Okay.
So so all these people showed up and they love that woman, man, because they say that she's authentic. There's no getting grant money for the nonprofit to go buy a new car, any of that.
Right.
If she gets 5 racks in grant money, she's spending every single penny on the supply she needs for certificates because she goes into CIW, she goes into Pleasant Valley, she goes into High Desert, she goes into these different prisons to do workshops. Right. And so there's a genuineness about her, and she inspires a lot of people.
Right.
And I'm a beneficiary, and I appreciate the supporter, the letter of support you sent to me. I didn't know what that came from. I got that. I was like, and so I'm gonna use that, when I go to board.
Yeah, that's right. That's what that's for.
I greatly appreciate that.
That's right.
And it's crazy because you hear stuff about people. You can meet a person, and it might just be, I like him, or I feel this way for this particular reason. And then when I was around, I got a letter, and then my head is snapped from who? I know who you are, and I know the good things and the good feeling I have from you.
Yeah.
But then I continuously hear good things. So and everybody is infected the same way. Nobody is getting something good and turning it into something negative.
Yeah.
Usually we take good things and we turn them negative with this distorted understanding that we have coming in. So I can tell that the people that you're reaching out to are completely transforming their way of thinking. Of course, we're a work in progress, but it is a testament to who you are and how it are. So even if you're not speaking, people are speaking of you because they're seeing you and they're watching you. Yeah. And silence does speak loud. A lot of people don't think being silent has a loud statement to it. So have you seen that you being silent is sometimes more than speaking up? Have you seen the rewards and the benefits of being more silent than being heard?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like it fluctuates.
Okay.
Sometimes it's good to do a lot of speaking, and then sometimes it's good to just stay silent. And your actions speak louder than your words.
Right.
I think it's important sometimes to scale back on voicing something and whatnot, but yeah, I think
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Okay, man. I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate you spending time to give us a little bit of your life, giving a little bit of your wife and the people you're around. We want to thank you for coming around here, enlightening the people, man. Like and subscribe to the page. It's Terry, I'm your host.
This is Robert, I'm your host. Like and subscribe. Post my name on.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Follow me on richandson.inc, IG. Any last words you want to say?
I just want to say thank y'all for what you're doing, man. It's incredible. It's a good feeling.
Okay.
This is awesome.
Okay, thank you, man. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's right.